All right, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Thursday afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time book map stream. And of course, as always, before we get started, we will start off with the disclaimer. This material, information, and presentation is for educational or entertainment purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice or recommendations. Any and all statements made on this channel, the sole opinions of Options Manager channel, should not be taken as financial advice. No financial decision should be made based on the material shown here on this channel. Trading futures, equities, and options involves substantial risk of loss and not suitable for all investors. Any investor could potentially lose all or more of the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Trading is one of the riskiest, most difficult tasks one undertake and must be approached with extreme caution. Do not invest any money you cannot afford to lose, especially on a day like today. Incredible volatility today. Incredible volatility. I just closed out another trade, and 50 points up, 50 points down. We are right back up to 43.65. Watch the VIX. It's getting pummeled and rocketed. Everything is up and down big time. This is certainly a day you need to be trading with very cautiously with small position sizing. So the week of whipsaw continues. All week long, I was just talking about it in the community, that all week long, we have been whipsawing back and forth 50, 60 points, both buyers and sellers getting their licks in, and today is kind of a truncated version of all that in a very short time frame. And of course, we had 38% IV, and now JPow's done talking, and we're bouncing all the way back up to 43.60. We have a 1400 iceberg coming on here. We see a lot of activity up to 43.65 after a lot of activity lower into 4300. And he is done talking, so I'm going to mute this crap. In my opinion, one of the most enjoyable JPow speeches there, not simply because of what of bearish bullish sentiment, but it's because of it was very intriguing. This was definitely a more, especially if you're someone who enjoys absorbing the economic data and thinking about how the bonds move the markets, that he give a lot of good insight into what he's been thinking and what's going on behind the scenes and what he thinks needs to happen in the future. So it's pretty interesting. Typically it wasn't the normal pre-canned FOMC speech that he uses every time, although he did say a lot of the same stuff. In terms of price action, it's been crazy. Premiums are right now still pretty high considering we only have 3 hours remaining. 31% IV, $10 at the money. I held a 43.10 put for about 140%. And now we're all the way back up, and I have no positions. I would prefer not to take another position today because I am beat. But we'll analyze here, and if I see something high confidence, I'll pop in for a couple of contracts. But that is all. A very high liquidity environment on Bookmap. We have 43.65. We have the big stuff down here, 15.10.50, and with a 457 iceberg that they have shifted down. We had a lot filled down here. We had about 600 orders already filled down here, and they're putting on more liquidity lower. On down. What's up, Sam? Good afternoon. So, from a structure standpoint, 43.20 is exactly where the bulls need to defend. Volume profile has 43.20 as the high volume node. So the buyers defend where they should. And we keep on seeing instances of that since, going all the way back into, Friday we made an attempt. We got down to 43.40. Yesterday we got down to 43.30. And today we finally stepped down to 43.20. So they've been stair-stepping down every few days, 10 points lower. And finally we have, 4 or 5 bounces off 43.20, which is the bearish high volume node. And if we were to give out 43.20, 42.80 is next on deck, and it'll come quick. But obviously, we just had a huge 45-point rally off of that 12.35 pivot. Another top wick off the morning high. The morning high is 4.352. We're top wicking off of that. And this is now 3 rejections of this 43.50, 60 area. We have a lot of liquidity coming in on 65. When you get a chance, can you go over frozen option premium and issues with platforms and your experiences that are mindful of these challenges? I mean, there's not really a good answer for that. I've dealt with that, off and on. It happens. It sucks. The one thing I do, if I see something wonky coming on with my book with my brokerage, I'll check out the app. I'll go to the phone app. Can I close out on the phone app? If all else fails, call. So the one thing I would do is I would have written down somewhere your trade hotline for whatever broker you use, a number, and have all like the phone tree where you hit like press 7 to reach customer service, like all that crap. Like have all the phone tree written down where all you have to do is dial and then hit like 732 to get to the number you need and get there as quick. That's the last resort, and it's terrible, but that may be your only thing. Outside of that, I mean, if the broker's frozen, there's nothing you can do. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Do what you can. Yeah, have your broker's phone number in your phone. It happens. The day will come where that'll happen while you're in a trade. I mean, it's happened to me. It happens to everyone. 0 for 2 this morning, just observing the rest of the day. Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty much done for the rest of the day. I'm unless something egregious happens, like a huge waterfall or explosion event upwards into the afternoon, I'm pretty much done. Now, I will say the risk here with this recovery again and high IV. If the IV rolls off and the VIX rolls off, we're going to have that tailwind. We'll have that tailwind event. My thesis was pretty strong on fade the initial move, and that's exactly how I played it. We had a big green, and then I faded the move down. I didn't expect this full-on recovery, which is why I'm no longer in a position. But it's not too often we see JPAL come out, we fade the initial move, and then we come all the way back up. Like usually once the fade happens, it stays. And we're going higher here, 43.62. So here's that top liquidity, 43.65. One of the reasons, I will tell you, one of the reasons I left E-Trade is because that crap started to happen more and more. And I was done with it. I mean, there's a whole list of reasons why I switched to IBKR, but if y'all remember, like I was getting to the point where I was having to call E-Trade like at least once a week because either my margin was messing up, or like the brokerage kept freezing or whichever. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Thanks, Dan, if you're listening. Share my screen. Applications, bookmap 15. There we go. All right, if you're on bookmap, I'm streaming the bookmap right there. All right, 43.60 here. Again, we're watching for this absorption of 43.65. You see, obviously, a lot of bullish flow. We got the CVA back up to 6,400. And we're coming into 43.65 right now. A lot of liquidity here. I started with E-Trade until MRS, and then he said RBKR. There you go. What's up, Blazin? I recently started an account with IBKR. Do you ever have the issue where if you're switching between charts, the chart will freeze and stop providing live data? I personally don't use charts on IBKR. My IBKR is 100% execution. There's no analytics. There's no there is no charts, no nothing. It's strictly execution. So I couldn't tell you. $43.60 hanging out right up here. Big move. No positions currently. I use their advanced charts, which is just trading view, I believe. But yeah, not fun. Yeah, there you go. All right. So still climbing higher here. The sellers aren't stepping in. Apple just put a new high of the day in. What an incredible bounce into 43.65. Oh man. TLT is climbing back up 83.54 right here. So again, obviously play with extreme caution. Anything can happen here. The GEX is shifting very quickly. Exposure is shifting very quickly. And we're back inside the supply. I use Webull and monitor many charts on 3 screens, and this doesn't happen. Nice. Yeah, if I had to recommend a cheap broker, like an entry level broker, Webull would definitely be it. They've got a very aesthetically pleasing setup. I had to go in there to look at my, I go in there every now and then to look at my forward holdings, just as a curiosity. It's fun. 43.65. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. IV is rolling a little bit. Premiums are actually higher than they were about 20 minutes ago. Does Webull offer futures trading? I don't think so. Don't hold me to that, though. Do you think tomorrow is going to be a trend day based on what J-Powell says? Well, I mean, he's already done talking, so we already know what he's going to say. Tomorrow being OPEX, typically I'm looking for the OPEX move to happen the day before, and honestly, I don't know where we're going to close at. I mean, we've had pretty strong moves twice up and down, so I don't really know what they're going to do with this thing. I've had I've been fighting for my life this week, man. It's been a week of just you have to be very careful. We have to wait for the macro to break out of consolidation. I don't want to jump up and down and smash the bull button or the bear button until we get out of this range, and that's how you have to play it. You have to get out of this macro range and start really figuring out what's going to happen. Until then, I mean, I don't want anyone to get chopped up. It's certainly been difficult. On top of having a cold. All right, so NASDAQ is putting on 137. ES is 43.65 here. The morning range, though, is working pretty well, though. It's working pretty well. 43.52, 43.24, we're right around it. Not perfectly, but it's in that range. It's giving us a good realm to go off of. What's the daily candle look like? Whipsawing all over the place. Every time I look at the daily candle, it's different. Is Powell still talking? Negative. Yeah, he's done. Didn't realize he came back, didn't watch it. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. He said all the same stuff. Today is the anniversary of Black Monday on 1987. Yes. There's some red 43.49. So another rejection off this 43.60. Top wick. So we have a confirmation down so far on the 5-minute. How was the 15-minute look like? So on the 15-minute, we do have a VPA signal for lower. We have a major top wick. I would love to see close under 43.48 to wipe out supply or wipe out demand. But we need to have the 15-minute. Today is also my birthday. Nice. My 2 cents. Highly volatile event should be played with micro positions. Yes, absolutely. Free Denny's. I haven't been to Denny's in a long time. Absolutely. Yeah, the the IBKR volatility got me one of the CPIs in late 2022, where the options chain froze for like 30 seconds when CPI posts. Yeah, it cost me a lot of money. Like I could have got out for pretty big profit, but it froze. I switched from minis to micros today. Yeah, that's a good move. Look, another big bounce back up. I mean, these are 10-point candles, so if you're wrong very quick, especially on options. I saw some people like blow up a couple of their prop firms. Like, I would not trade prop firms on days like today, especially with those stupid trailing drawdowns. Like you'll pop a drawdown on one candle. Don't trade in markets that require perfection. Write that down. Let's see. 1 for a 1K scalp this AM, calling it a day. Nice, LeVar. Well done, buddy. I appreciate you hanging out. You're very welcome. Started the day green, ended red, but red is not bothersome. That's all right. I love it. Puts on Netflix. Wouldn't that be crazy if they gave it all back? The deeper we get into this bear market and the more volatile things get, the more you're going to see me reducing position sizing overall. Because volatility is great to play when you're right, but you have to build into positions. $43.57. Still watching how they absorb 43.65 here if they can get up there. You see every single time the sellers make a move, buyers hit right here. What's up, Holy Trinity? Yeah, Netflix went crazy. Anybody take a Netflix call yesterday and hold it? I'm curious what IV did with that big of a move. What your profits are. Another winning trade, up 3.28%. Nice, Damien. Hey, shut it down, buddy. Shut it down. Don't give it back. Almost bought a put. Dodge that bullet. Nice. Yeah, I'm happy to see Damien grinding it back, baby. Happy to see it grinding it back. Dojied out 43.55. I was looking at a 365 call for $10. Could have sold for 40 this morning. Oh yeah. Dang, 400%. This week is emotionally draining, Damien. This week was a required constant attention. There's been very few times that we could have played a position and kind of taken your hands off. As long short dated stuff, obviously. Long dated stuff. Yesterday was a pretty nice trend down on if you zoom out. But if you're playing short dated stuff, I mean, whipsaw it all over the place. So it's definitely been draining. 43.65 and 60 right now. Would you recommend Spot Gamma's got an offer for a 2-week trial? I love Spot Gamma. In my opinion, Spot Gamma is one of the best resources for analytics on the options chain. My only qualm with Spot Gamma, and I'll tell you this, my only qualm with Spot Gamma is the information presented is not great for the beginner in terms of how it's presented. It's a little bit high level and it's not formatted in a way that's conducive for beginners. However, if you could weed through that, it's a fantastic resource. Very, very high level. I would definitely at least try it out, especially for a 2-week free trial. Drones attack U.S. military base in Syria. I do not see systematic risk from commercial real estate problems. All right, so you see the sellers picking up here. CVD dump back over. 264 stop. We're just kind of bounding here at the morning high. Morning high is right here. Right here. All right, a little bit of red, 43.47. Coming back off, sellers are starting to hit. CVD just took a big dump. Went from 7,000 green to 4,500 green, and the sellers are just completely took over that time frame right there. Microsoft big dump, and the bonds came back over. So, dominated that candle right there. Did I listen in on Tesla earnings? No. I read a couple of sources that kind of synopsed it, gave a synopsis of it, but synopsized? Synopsis? I don't know. All right, Damon, have a good afternoon, buddy. All right, 43.47. And 5-minute POC is right here at 43.44. So right now we're just kind of glued to the top of the range, and nothing is nothing is out of limits here. So big rejection back down, we'll blast off. Nothing is off limits here. Now the sellers are controlling this on a decent resistance, and like I said, 15-minute right here showed a VPA signal for downside with the top wick and confirmation below 43105. And now we're kind of creeping back off. So premiums starting to come off a little bit. They're still a little elevated, but right back down to the POC. Yeah, Elon did not sound good. He was from what I read is that um, obviously he was feeling the pressure. He said a lot of it had to do with the interest rates. There's obviously been video and pictures of extremely high inventory, and too much inventory on hand is not a good sign. Bottom wick right off the 5 minute POC, 43.44. So every time they return back to that POC, they defend. Overall, I'm still maintaining caution. Caution. Premiums are IV's 33%. Premiums are $11.8. Damien is still sitting here. Do I need to boot him to get him to stop trading today? Damien, I love it. All right, right back to 43.50 here, and still 43.65 is the main level, but right now not much movement. No trades for me. Not looking to take any trades. I am going to go peek over at the options data. $19. On a different note, in your opinion, what is a sweet spot for an account size to trade for income? Um, Assuming, do you mean like trading like as your sole source of income, or just for income in general? Because those are two different answers. In my opinion, I don't think anyone needs to go for trading as their sole source of income. I think it's nearly impossible to do, um, unless you've got close to a seven-figure account, just because of the emotional side. Now, there's some people who can pull it off. I was blessed with the fact that I had a career that I loved, and it allowed me to trade and work at the same time. Not everyone can do that, obviously, but the stress that you take on when you trade for full-time income is nearly unbearable. It's absolutely awful. Now, once you have a high-level account, like $700,000, $800,000, $1 million, you can you could take far less risk and still make a very little amount of money, which is kind of where I'm at now. I could take very little risk and still meet my income requirements, and I can write premium. Now, right now, I'm not writing much premium because this market's pretty nasty. But writing premium for income is your number one way. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, scalping and day trading as your only source of trading for income is impossible. for 99.9% of people, including myself. Including myself. You have to be able to trade futures, trade options, day trade, swing trade, write premium. Most of it writing premium, though. The vast majority of my trades outside of this market is going to be writing premium. So, now, having said that, you can make decent money, $200,000 to $300,000, with proper risk management. Anything under that, you're struggling. You're taking far too much risk. But it's all about the emotional management, and that's the problem. When you step out on your own and you are trading 100% on your own with no other income, the stress is unbearable, especially when you have a bad week or a bad month or a bad quarter. I actually have a good YouTube video about this. I made a YouTube video about should you quit your job and start to trade full time. I personally look at trading as a second job. It's a secondary source of income. I'm a big believer in diversified sources of income, and this is one of those. Trading is a diversified source of income, and it's not my primary source, although now it is. It wasn't for, however many years. But it should be an augment your life. Link, I'll get it for you. Let me see if I can find it. That was an older video. There you go. There you go. Good. Doubt my boss agrees. I had only one SPY put, so I wasn't going to bleed either way. Small position size are here in my mind. There you go. After commissions, I made $8. Hey, green is green, baby. Green is green. Hardest part of trading is getting out of a bad trade. Yeah. Yep. Especially with options. With stocks and futures, for me, it's easier to get out of a bad trade with stocks and futures than it is options, because options, there's always that what if. Like, if it comes back, I can make it all back and then some. That's, in my opinion, it's much easier to manage those. So you got to be very careful with it with options. So another top wick back over. You see the sellers are still controlling the high level candles here. And yeah, just be patient. $43.44 coming down. A little bit of red. I've been looking for additional source of income. Unfortunately, oh my gosh. For me personally, the hardest thing about trading is psychology. Any strategy is good. Yeah, I mean, for everyone, the hardest part is psychology. That is trading. The easy part is learning the technical. It's all trade. It's all mental. 43.46. So far, not moving. We're holding the POC 43.46. Any attack on 43.20 will be met with aggression. So, not going to lie, it's pretty hard to hear. You're probably one of the people I look up to in this world, and trading full time is my goal, and yet 200 to 300 an account isn't the cards. I want to be honest with you though. Yeah, I just want to be honest. I never want to give anyone any false impressions that this is easy. It's really literally speaking from experience. Some people are different. Some people are trading savants. They can do it with less. Some people are much better traders than I am. I'm just giving you my experience personally. I haven't had the easiest experience. It's been a lot of stress and a lot of heartache growing my account and learning how to do this. And it's not easy. So trading full time as your source of income is incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. All right, we just breached the POC. Coming back off here. Making a move lower. Let's see. Coming off. Man, now we're dropping back off here. 43.41. Now, that doesn't mean you can't trade for income. It just means you can't trade to sustain full, complete income. So if you've got like 50 grand, you can still make a good amount of change with 50 grand. I don't know how much money you're dealing with, but you just can't live off of it. All right, coming back off here, 43.40. We just breached the POC, which means sellers are back in control. 15-minute confirm reversal, 43.37 and dropping. Coming back off. Dropping back off right here. Sellers are back in control. You see them hitting this on the tape, grabbing liquidity lower, shifting to 43.25 down to 15.5 and then 0. $43.36. Back down to pivot. Tempted to put all my eggs in a basket. I have a unique situation where I have a source of income for the next 2 years and then it's gone. I can spend that time trading or learning. I can spend it at school, job searching. I mean, try to do both. How old are you, Blazing? All right, still dropping. This is pretty heavy red candle coming back off. Any further trades here is going to be ES. I'm not doing any more options. So I've already got my options traded today. I've got my 140% locked. So anything else will be futures. How do you trade this price action? Like who's on sides at this moment? It's difficult. So you just got to trade the flows right now, and they're putting on 50-point ranges here. So, right now that's why I'm kind of hitting the brakes a little bit. And like I said, anything else from here on out is going to be futures. I'm 34, 14 years medical release Navy. Okay. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't put your eggs in one basket. It's coming back off here. So as we kind of ride this thing lower here, futures is a great option. We now have XLF rejecting 33.25 pivot, which has been a main pivot for over a month now. VIX is coming back green. Bonds are heading back lower. And we have another attack on this 457. If we break 43.20, that will finally move us to 42.80. But then again, we have to deal with that first. It's easy to say if we break it. But right now, we are 50-point range bound all over the place. That's a 30-point drop from the high. And coming back off. 43.34. CVD is back off from about 7,500 green to 3,500. Although definitely green, this is where the subchart indicator on CVD helps you, because it's easy to just look at the widget and say, oh, we're green, go up. But the fact that this thing is coming off is dropping back off. Am I still in the Friday puts? I am still in the Friday puts, yeah. Any drawdown, I watch my P&L inflate back up because I get those premiums back. So, do you mark the first hour from 9:30 to 10:30 Eastern? Yes, I do. The first high and low or the overall high and low between 9:30 and 10:30. Yeah, let's take a look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is coming off. They have 14,900 coming on. Once again, back to the main pivot. Do I have NASDAQ levels? I do. I do. For the Tier 2 members, I got it for NASDAQ levels. So now they're coming back off here. Set trailing stops under positions and move over. The sellers are in control. We have a 15-minute confirmed move down. This move confirmed it right here. This candle confirmed it right here. And we have liquidity grabs lower. You see the sellers are still in control. Bam, bam. So these are complete moves down here, showing that all attempts by the buyers are used as moves lower. You see the candles are still moving lower. I have Apple coming off. I have Microsoft coming off. I have Amazon dropping. So tech is correlating down. I've got VIX going up. I've got TLT coming down. I've got IV. Let's take a look. I just had ES contracts up. Bear with me. 36%. So IV is going back up. Put premiums are 10% higher right now. So everything is kind of matching for this pressure. They took off this iceberg that's been on for about an hour. 437. But look at all this liquidity down here from 43.25 to 4,300. Dropping back off. Now we're punching on through and set trailing stops. That's all you're doing. Set trailing stops. 43.33. I'm Tier 2. Where do I find those? If you go into the weekly brief channel, the weekly brief, you'll find the summary of ES and NASDAQ levels. Tomorrow the counter looks dry. I wonder if it'll be slow and choppy. Well, tomorrow's OPEX, so it all depends on how we close this move out. If we don't really move away from this area, then I would increase the odds for a trend tomorrow. If we dump today, then most likely tomorrow will probably be a bit of a chop. Tomorrow is OPEX. Today's pre-OPEX, which a lot of time gets the move. So we're still dropping off here. Again, downside positions. The sellers are in complete control here. VPA still says lower pressure into 43.24. So if you're holding short positions, which right now, sellers are in control. As we approach 43.24 and into 43.20, that's where you need to start shifting your trailing stops lower and lower and lower and lower. Don't take 43.24 for granted and be like, oh, we're dumping because we've had some major bounces off of it. There's still demand there. So we're, 6 points away from 43.24. The sellers are eating up everything. So right now, like I said, once the VPA confirmed here, the sellers have been in complete control on sustaining volume. This is not a decelerating trend. So we have volume increasing into this. And the liquidity here is still rolling over into 25. What do I think about the liquidity on 66? Yeah, so that's multiple attempts and failures. When you've got a big liquidity up top like that and two major moves up to there and they still can't fill, that just tells me there's too much supply. Like the buyers can't make it happen. So that's two attempts to transact higher and unable to do it. Now, granted, today's a very volatile day, so you have to kind of look through things through a little bit of a range expansion lens. Now, the overarching theme is volatility. The volatility is hanging out at 1977, almost 20, for months now. Every time the VIX has hit 20, we've aggressively dropped. Now, they have aggressively rejected 20 today a couple of times, and we're still right back up to 20. So, eventually, we are going to get the move where the VIX blows right on through 20 and heads to 30. And that'll bring us down to 41.50, 41.40. So, VIX needs to be on your platform for highlight in the upcoming sessions, in addition to TLT. because the volatility mean reversion is a safe trade because the mean reversion happens all the time. Go look on the daily chart for VIX. It mean reverts literally every time it pops up. But eventually, it won't mean revert. It'll just blow right on through. And if that happens on this 20 attack, then we're going to go all the way down into the 4100s, even 3900s. Now, if it does mean revert and we drop back off into 14, 13 territory in the VIX, that will greatly help your Santa rally cause going into January, because it takes about 2 months to cycle that VIX, where it comes back off of 20, eats into the 13s, consolidates, pops, drops, and then rockets back up. So just beware. $43.31. 43.65 is still on, yeah. Right there. Now let me go over and take a look at the GEX for tomorrow. OPEX. We have a lot of data pull lower, exposure pull lower. On down into 421. The deltas, we have negative 424, positive 450. I really appreciate you going on stream so much these last 2 months. Yeah, you're welcome. I like it, man. When I'm streaming a lot, that means the market is moving, and there's a lot to there's a lot to talk about. So you're very welcome. Hopefully next week I shake this chest cold. You won't hear me making all these dad noises. Is it okay to drag stops using the 5-minute? I try to use a stop the top of each prior to drag. If you're scalping, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, the deeper you get into a move, then the more aggressive you want to be on trailing stops. It seems like I make better trades when I'm on with your streams. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. It's always better, I like to have a collective, especially a good, if we have a healthy community that we can have healthy discussion, it's good because you could bounce ideas off one another without being ridiculed or made fun of or fear of, oh, you're a stupid bear. So I think there's a lot of value in the collective, like-minded atmosphere, which is the whole point of this server. Yeah. So we're still holding 43.30. Sellers are still in control. We have a top wick. Let's see if we can hit 43.20 on down. $43.29. We should call him a trading therapist. The trading therapist. Is the reason you're still holding your weekly puts because it hasn't made a move out of this range for almost a week? If you look on the daily and weekly, we're starting to see a lot of top wicks with sell pressure. And we keep on getting these big dumps. So my put is oscillating between 80% loss and 40% loss. The reason why I've held on to them is because I've managed to build back the position with, well, that's a wrong word. I've been managed to make it to be profitable with other positions as that put is losing money. So now, like any downside, it's just eating that position back up, which is good. So on any big bullish recovery that closes with a bullish candle, then I'll go ahead and close it. I mean, right now I'm back to about 60% on them. So if I can get a push under 42 or 43.20 today, they'll start coming into a good area here. And then of course tomorrow if bearish, then we'll do well. But tomorrow will be the 2-year anniversary of trading. I started on October 20, 2021. Nice. Nice. You started right before the bear market started. Well, so you didn't get to experience the bull market. You've been bear market trading. You'll be a good trader, a real good trader once all this blows over and go back into a bull market. Top wick. 43.28. Sellers are still in control. Another top wick right here. So continue to set your trailing stops. If I see any kind of bullish activity, I'll tell you all to get out of your positions. At least I would recommend it. I'm not going to tell you all to do anything. But just set your trailing stops for now and just continue. The sellers are still controlling. Watch this 43.27 liquidity. They see that they keep trying to have this auction to transact. Here's an attempt, and now they're glued to it. So watch the absorption here at 43.27, and that'll move us into 43.24, which will attest the morning low. I ended green on the day, but again realized why overtrading is bad. I would have been up more, but I want another trade. Yep. Only if we change our mindset not to buy puts every time it goes up when it's a bear market. Yeah. Yeah. Once we are back in a bull market, the days of shorts and puts, gone. I will tell you all to completely do away with any puts or shorts forever. Forever. Once we're back in a bull market. It'll only be wait for the dip and then buy it. Until then, puts. Forever. Forever. Another top wick. Oh, geez, I ain't going to watch that. All right, we've got 6 minutes left, and I have to wrap up the stream. But I'm looking for a test of 43.24 here. I want y'all to understand the importance of this 43.22 level. You're killing me, Smalls. 43.22 is the high volume node on the long-term charts. So if 43.22 gives out, look for 42.80 tomorrow or tonight, overnight. But it's got to wipe out that level first. I'm looking like right here they're going to make an attempt at 43.27. They keep on trying. A little bit of green. Oh, you're a month in? Nice, Brian. Well, welcome to the trading community. You're going to love it and hate it. Do you see any correspondence like that on NASDAQ? I don't have the charts up anymore. Let me take a look. Let me go to the daily chart. $14,947. 945. 14,945 is the largest distribution of volume below the POC. And that's exactly where they keep defending. We already bounced off this once in August. We consolidated it back in September, and now we're bouncing off of it today. So, 14,944. Holy crap, where'd it go? 14,945. You're welcome. I had a simple strategy in the bull market to buy around 11.45 on drawdowns. Made a huge bank just to give it all back. I was a new trader, never traded before. Started with options, had no idea. No? I'm sure you had some good experience from that. I'm listening to you for a few months. Only 1 month, my feet wet. Nice, Brian. Well, let me know if you have any questions, bud. I'd be happy to help. Let's get your mind right and not create any bad habits. I love the time period between year one and year two of experience. You need just enough to get yourself in trouble. Not me, man. My year 1 and 2 was fraught with struggle. It's one of those days where I'm very glad that it happened, but I do not want to go back. Yeah, lots of pain and account blowups. $56,000 gone in 48 hours. Poof. See ya. Never forget it. Never forget it. I would describe it as a struggle too, but just had to convince myself any more than I did. Yeah. My first year is painful. At least 4 blown up accounts. That's the way it happens, man. No stop loss in that loss? Nope. To the moon, baby. To the moon. I lost 98% of my port in 2 days. All right. They're adding 43.47 back. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attempts at 43.27. Couldn't do it. Yeah, that was diamond hands. Yeah. With biotech stocks. I have a podcast about that, by the way, if y'all are new to the channel and you want to hear that story. I've got it on the podcast. I don't have time to tell it now because we're about to shut the stream off. Top wick. Here's another attempt at 43.27. So the seller's there. That was your bullish confirmation candle, and that failed. So the sellers are still in control. Here comes the 43.27 attempt. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to. It'll be time for the next person to come on at 1 p.m. Top wick. There we go. So top wick closed. Here's the next candle, 5-minute candle forming. And wait for the attempt at 43.27. The sellers keep on hitting. You see the spikes in sell volume here. You see the CVD not being able to claim. And 43.27 attempt. All right, there's the top of the hour. I do have to hang it up here. Watch 43.22. 43.22 on ES. That is the level for bulls to claim. The buyers have done great job defending it. If the sellers close under that level today, it's going to open the door to 42.80. That's 40 points down. Watch it. If we have a bullish response, right back up and we'll attempt this 43.65 up. But that 43.22 is pivotal for the buyers to hold. Watch it. Hope y'all learned a little something. Set your trailing stops if you're short. At the moment, sellers are still in control, ready to wipe through 43.27. Set your trailing stops on the downside. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Let me know if you have any questions. Until next week, Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm out. See you.